Hey everyone, it's your girl Perky Perp. You can follow me on Instagram on my platform, and also you can follow me on Twitter at Perky Perp with two P's in the front. This podcast is called Stories from the Past, and thank you for tuning in. We talk about relationship tips, stories, anything that people send to us, we talk about it and we discuss it. For today, we're going to be talking about something called trust. I know a lot of you have had something or someone in your life that you couldn't trust. Am I right? Well, this one it might be familiar to you. This story is about a young woman who's 18 years old and she has a boyfriend who's also 18. And she wants to know how she can show her man that basically that he can trust her. So she goes by saying, "Hey, so I really need some advice. Me and my boyfriend have had a really difficult week dealing with a lot of issues. The main issue was me and how I couldn't trust him 100%. Well, okay, let's stop right there. First of all, when you're in a relationship, there's not always going to be 100% trust, right? There's some healthy skepticism, which is normal. Trusting that your partner has your best interests when they're making their decisions. When you're in a relationship, you're being vulnerable. You're choosing to be vulnerable with this person. So you're choosing to trust this person, obviously, until you don't anymore. But I digress. Let's continue. She continues by saying, "The week has really made me dive deep into myself and really want to get to a place of comfort and trust. I finally trust him 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. I've never been so sure and I've never been so confident and serious and excited for a new chapter of our relationship because it took so long. But he doesn't believe me. Which is completely understandable because I know why he can't believe that I'm 100% at trust finally. I've said it before. While there was still a lingering doubt, and now my words are unreliable. But I'd never put us through this if I wasn't being 100% honest with myself and him. I just need to show him, and I need to show him how serious I am. But I don't know how. Any advice is greatly appreciated." Okay, so thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable and allowing yourself to be able to, seek help and seek advice. So you're at the right place because this is what we do at Stories from the Past. So, what I would say is, for example, if someone were demanding 100% trust from me, I feel like that's kind of like a red flag because it's like they don't understand that you might not trust 100% because you've had some history in the past that might have changed your perspective on relationships. So you might need a little bit more proof than others in order to be able to trust someone 100%. The people that demand that type of trust, that 100% trust, those tend to be manipulators. And yes, you should put a great deal of trust in your partner, but there should always be room for skepticism, like I said earlier. I just don't like the word gaslighting. It's just being thrown around so blatantly everywhere nowadays. But trust can lead to one being taken advantage of. So just be mindful of that. And also, I would say on your part is you went from not trusting him 100% in a week. So you went from not trusting him to 100% trusting him in a week. So that's kind of like, I don't see how that's possible, but trust does take time. And maybe that's what your boyfriend is thinking. Like, how can you trust somebody 100% in a week? Like, he probably doesn't even know what he did that made you trust him so fast. So he probably just doesn't believe it. So I'm just trying to think about it from both perspectives in that way. And then also, I don't know how you can trust anything 100%. Um, but it's just, it's yourself. But so in most relationships, you have to think about what is causing a partner to not trust the other person, right? What was the issue, right? And should you now be trusting him even though the issue occurred? So no one is always 100% trustworthy. You both have so much to learn and grow. Obviously, don't sweat the small stuff. And mostly everything is small stuff, right? Like, people forgive, people forget. Obviously, if it's something like disrespect, once you disrespect somebody in a relationship, it's very hard to get that respect back. And also, it might be impossible. And those tend to be the times when the relationship is officially over. So that's also something that you have to take into consideration. You also have to be able to emotionally regulate yourself. Like, for example, if you tend to get jealous a lot or insecurities when your relationship, that isn't a path to maintaining something healthy and sustainable. When we choose to be in a relationship with someone, we also have to choose to trust them, right? And that doesn't mean we have to be blind to objectively untrustworthy behavior. We just address that behavior when and if it happens. You just can't allow your insecurities to rule your life. If your insecurities lead you to go through their phone, to take forensic deep dives into their social media, or demand that they cut ties with people, then you are the one that's fucking up. So, if you have done things that are similar to this, then you've broken his trust. And you can declare that you won't behave this way moving forward, but that declaration doesn't mean anything until your action prove it. So, are you going to be able to resign from your jealousy when you have an attractive server or when your boyfriend has a hot coworker? So, you have to just do more than announce change. You have to actually live it and prove it with action. So, in relationships, that's something that you have to understand. You're choosing to be vulnerable and you're choosing to be with this person. So, you have to choose to trust them. Obviously, until they decide to break that trust. And then you have a reason to not trust that person. But in the meantime, if they haven't done anything to break that trust from you, then I suggest you look inward and think about the things that you have went through in your past, or think about some things that you're dealing with on your own on a subconscious level, and work through those things. And you never know, your relationship might just get fixed and the trust can come back. So that's my input on trust. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to tap that notification bell for more updates. Thank you and have a great rest of your day. Mwah.